Whoa, everyone. What have you done to the markets over the last 24 hours, guys? What is going on? My goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, for many, it may be a bit of a bad day. We have a bloodbath. The first one in a few weeks. But it seems like an eon, yeah? It seems like an eon. Let me just get some water here to get started. My goodness, we've got a lot to talk about today, guys, and unfortunately, quite a lot of red charts. But is this an opportunity that we've been looking for July, or is this the beginning of something more sinister? We may have to discuss it. The bonds were teaching us over the last couple of days really where the action's been at. I wanted to just quickly bring up this chart straight away, and that is the SP500 and where it is currently. Of course, 4,300 around that level. Daily 20 moving average. Usually the one the market bounces off, okay? We know that the market loves the daily 20. We know it's been loving the daily 50. Look at the daily 50. So will it stop here? Will it bounce? I would have it at a guess that yes, probably. But we're going to have to now start spotting the signs of a potential market demolition throughout the end of, well, the middle of July into the end of July. I do predict that at some point this year, we're going to have that 10-15% pullback. There's a multitude of different reasons. Is this the start of it, though? I tend to think that there's usually going to be buyers here. What is the catalyst that we're seeing today? I mean, chat community, what is the catalyst that you believe is causing this market to go down? Is there a reason? Or is it usually what Wall Street does, which is come up with some excuse, push the market through, and then say, oh, yeah, it's because of this thing that was always in plain sight. We're concerned about inflation. We're concerned about something else. I always go with that kind of action. So let's focus here quickly on the US 500, on the US 10 years, on the bonds, go into gold, go into the crypto market, which is also taking a bit of a nosedive. Nasty whales having a go at our crypto market over there. And let's think about what just happened. So we had a new peak. It is a new peak on the S&P 500. Then we have, of course, the trough that came through this, and now we've got a new low. So as you know, we are all about the lightning bolt here on the channel. And the lightning bolt generally is, okay, a peak, a trough, a lower peak, and a lower trough. And I think that's where you're clearly getting that bearish pressure coming in. If we see something like this, then I'm worried. So you know what I'm looking at actually today? I'm actually looking at the daily 20, hopefully holding it up. Let's have a look on the SPX just quickly, just to see where that is. So daily 20 here on the SPX would be 42.80-ish. And if it got down there and then it bounced, so it came like this, bounce, movement back down and breaches that zone, do I think that's a significant short bear position? Yes, I do. And I do think the shorters will come in and at least they'll be pushing it towards the 50 exponential, if not even further down throughout the rest of the month, throughout the rest of the couple of months. We do have earnings coming up in the US moving forward, so we need to be aware of that. A lot of them I think will kick some ass. So I think there'll be some good earnings there. There'll be some bad earnings. And yeah, there's a lot to uncover here. But in general speaking, daily 20s, based on our historical analysis of the daily 20, the first touch, because remember, big run, first touch, bounce. Decent run, first touch, bounce. There was even a bounce here when it touched the second time. So we go through. Let's have a look at more. First touch, bounce. Okay? First touch, crazy day. No doubt that's a crazy day. First touch, bounce. First touch, bounce. First touch, bounce. So generally speaking, like, you know, when it first touches after a big run, it likes to buy off the 20 exponential moving average. So I think we've got to pay attention to that. That is a key thing. Whenever we see a red market, we need to think, do we have to be fearful? Are we scared? Are we losing money? I'm sure some people are, absolutely. But it is always about, are we scared today? Is this the beginning of the end? Is this the start of the second crash? I think we've got to put it in perspective. It's not good, but the market has been very bullish for quite some time. Let's have a look at what the community says about things are going to happen. Mr. Murray says the lightning bolt is not going to happen today. I'm calling the bounce. That's correct, Mr. Murray. The lightning bolt cannot happen today. We can't have a down, up, down swing through one session when we're talking about daily and a 4-hour chart. We need very big things here. So we need a whole bunch of stuff. So we've got some stuff coming in here from the public chat community. Let's have a look. Let's look at it together. People are messaging things that they believe is causing the market crash. So it's a very big deal, this Musti says here. The slight tweak to its inflation target means that it will tolerate higher levels of inflation before deciding to hike rates. Rising rates are the enemy of inflation, sure. The ECB keeping its cool doesn't hike rates too fast. When inflation is running hot is just the sort of stuff that stocks love to hear. So is it Maybell word for the future? I agree. I don't really think that's anything to do with the crash. Do I believe that the ECB saying, hey, we're not too concerned about the inflation, we're not going to raise rates until we believe things are going good? We have to put it in perspective. If you're an investor and you're a longer term trader, then do you really care about these days? Not particularly, just looking for more opportunities. If you're someone that's trading in the short and you got unfortunately into some longs, then today is one of those brutal days where you may get stopped out. You may have an option that expires worthless. It's all very possible. Let's have a look here what everyone's saying. SPY is trending on stock twits, supposedly according to Trio. Yeah, that's cool. Tony Hall says reducing risk. It's just a gap fill, lol, says CJ. Okay, fair enough, man. Inflation tolerance by Papa Powell and the ECB. Yep, inflation tolerance. But again, inflation tolerance, is this a negative aspect of the economy? I mean, we need to think about that. If they've got inflation tolerance and they're saying, hey, we're going to keep those rates lower and we're happy with that, I don't see that as a negative for a lot of the companies that many of you target. So the S&P 500, it's going to come in, as we know, around this 4,300. It's actually 4,290 currently. I think the daily 20 is a key area for us to be focusing on. That's 4,280-ish. You can see it here on the SPX. Remember, SPX is real. US 500 fake market futures. So it's a slightly different, not many points, but slightly different one. And if I was to have it a guess, and I'm flipping coins, and of course it's not financial advice, it's just the perspective of going back over the previous times that we've seen the 20 get hit, this is a bounce style level. Now, if it cranks straight through that and breaks it, I'd actually be very surprised. Very, very surprised. In a day like today, we look to the S&P 500 every time. You don't necessarily look at the Nasdaq, you look to the S&P 500. We know we were getting extended away. We also know it's the perfect excuse for the market to pull back here because we had those bonds and we've got the treasury yield hitting the support. But more importantly, the bonds have been firing. So we'll take a look at that very, very soon. So could the Nasdaq have even more falling in it? Certainly could. I mean, daily 20 here for the US 100, the futures, is actually 14,400. So that's another 158 points away. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried at this stage. We haven't had a nice big red day. And I don't call it a nice big red day for no reason. We haven't had a red day for quite a while. And it's just not been, if we look at the NDX, are they even red days? These are very small red days. So a pullback makes sense in a healthy style trend. So calling the crash top here would be probably premature. It's too early for us to see that. Thank you for the 1,000 people and 1,000 viewers coming in. What I really want to focus on, though, is smart money. And I put this in today's video. I've been talking about it this week, and that is the bonds. Because the bonds, and I said this even in the private community, I actually think the bonds are going to provide a better investment than the S&P 500 over potentially the next 3 to 6 months. And I said that just purely because when we go out and we think about this chart, and if you don't follow bonds, you should, because the bonds show us something about the market before it often happens. Over here, the bonds started firing. Again, when was this? We're talking 13th, 15th of Jan. The market didn't crash immediately, but the bonds went ballistic. By the time they hit February, it was already running hot, and then it went crazy. And then, of course, at the same time, we saw the markets get crumpled. They got smashed down and the bonds went heavy. So with this bond repricing here and the fact that we're even at 149.16, breaking through a daily 200 here today and potentially closing above that, this is a big price bounce. And I think if you get through here, the bonds could reprice relatively quickly to 156. And the second thing I want to talk about with bonds is how fast they reprice and then how fast they become the worst investment ever. Well, not ever. Maybe cash is the worst investment ever, but they certainly become really terrible. So you have those really quick reprices. They go overextended and then they often do nothing for years. So you can be very careful with the bond market as well. It's an investment vehicle where often it's fast, it's quick, it accelerates, money flows in there at the rate of knots like it has over the previous years. And then you need to be aware of where the key zones are. And I think one of the key zones here is going to be about 154, 155 on the 20-year. And when that happens, and if it keeps going up like this, and we see the lightning bolt action on the S&P 500, I'm almost convinced that the pullback is occurring because you're bringing 2 and 2 together. We also have to think about, what's the US 10-year yield telling us? Well, that thing just hit profit this morning. It just hit the 200. Look at this. It just goes smash straight back in here. And this is basically saying that the 10-year rate is going to be 1.3%. Now, I don't believe that for a second. What do you guys think the 10-year rate is going to be by the end of this year? What do you guys think that the 10-year rate is going to be at the end of this year? Claiborne Taylor says it's profit taking. Yeah, you'll probably see some discussions. Oh, it's the AMC and the GME crash and all of the hyper stocks. They're going to belt hyper stocks. Don't get me wrong. They're going to belt the hyper stocks because they're going to be like, oh, it makes sense. People are going to be losing money on AMC, unfortunately, today, on GME, on a lot of these squeeze stocks. They're going to have to pull and get leveraged out of other positions. And all I can say at times like this, considering we've only got a 1.6% down day, is please, when you're investing, when you're making decisions, think about the risks. I've always said this on the channel. The giant evil managers, all they care about is how much money can I make with as little risk as possible. They care about the risk. This is the number one factor that they care about. And it should be the number one factor that we all care about because the risk that we're taking for a position, we need to be aware of it because the worst case scenario can happen like this in markets and then we all get flogged and it sucks. John S., $5. Thank you very much for the first donation of the day, John. Appreciate it. Also, thank you to the subscribers coming in as well. Appreciate you guys. $5. Hey, Tom, how about those bonds? Yes, John S. Well done. John S. is a buyer of the bonds at the moment. Well done, John. Clap. Clap for you, John. Well done. Yeah, you've done well, and it's a great trade, man. I love your bond analysis. It was very, very smart. And you know what? Congratulations for recognizing it. Don't always think bonds are good, though, because bonds suck a lot of the time. Lucian says, surprise, manipulation. Claiborne says profit taking, 10-year dropping is what they say, but honestly, just the BS. Sick of this year. Come up with crap every 2 months, says Jay Nibble. Yes, that's what they do. In a normal trading year, there will be two times where you will get pullbacks. Usually, in fact, I've actually statted them over time. I'll give you a stat. It's usually 8 to 10% deep. Okay? So this is the consistent kind of pullback that you'll get one time a year, and the other one will be about 5% deep. Now, they're actually significant pullbacks, and when you know they're going to come at some point, that's often where money managers start flooding their cash in. But the idea is to have something in plain sight that you're scared of, and then they attack that, and then they say, oh, the end of the world's coming, blah, blah, blah. The question is, will it be by the dip? Or do they know where your leverage positions are, where the pain is going to be coming? We talked about the leverage chart. We talked about the retail traders getting into the leverage. The leverage is through the roof right now across the board. I brought this chart up on Tuesday, I believe, this week. I brought it up in the videos as well. The first time I started talking about, because this week, it's got me worried about the fact that they're targeting off the retail traders' leverage. So the 10 years is just an excuse. You're absolutely correct, Jay Nibble. The bonds, well, I think that's real money. And the rest of it, yes. 44 Max says, Meet Kevin says, massive amount of unfilled jobs. yeah, it's not well, we talked about that. So unfilled jobs, if you're thinking about the jobs report, 850K, okay? Jobs, theoretically. They're mostly in leisure and hospitality. Then, of course, you've got unfilled, which is skilled jobs. So these are skilled jobs, and they are currently sitting. Now, what it probably means, guess here, is that either there's a skill shortage, which could be a thing, but most likely the pay is a little bit low for them as well, and people don't want to go move to those companies. So what's that going to do? It's going to drive, most likely, wages slightly up. I actually think that's what's going to happen. I think wages are going to go up for some skilled jobs. Now, that jobs number we talked about on the channel, I don't think it was that good. Again, I don't think that's a bad thing for the Fed supporting the market. It's all just crap. Okay? It's crap to scare you, and all you need to do is you need to hold fast to your system, to your approach. And your approach may be, I look at the daily 20, and I know that the market pulls back to the daily 20 and finds buying pressure around that point. I love my companies. I love what I'm in, and I'm confident. Never feel that you're not making, like, you've got to make your own decision, but you've got to keep your confidence, guys. And look, I don't think today is enough to scare me out of the market. Why would it be? It's not enough. Is there more here? Well, time will tell on that. If we get movement up, movement down at this point, am I starting to say, okay, well, I've got to start scaling out. I've got to start taking percentages. I've got to start putting shorts in and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course. At that point, I make a different decision. But at this point, we've had an amazing run. We've had a great, arguably a pretty good, great April. We had a May, and of course, a very good June in some sectors. This could be a little bit of profit taking. I think it's there to scare everyone. Houston Dog Behavior says this is bigger than the hedgies. That's true. The ECB said the forbidden word at Musti. Musti has a smiley face there. It's not without an explanation. It's because of the European Central Banks, Musti says. I think that the European Central Bank information came out, and before that, the market was already falling. So it's a discussion point, but again, I see through it. We see through it here. All we care about is the price action and the reality of the situation. We have still got the Fed backing the market. We still have the ECB backing the market. We have high multiples. If I look at a Schiller PE, if I go Schiller PE multiple, look at this ratio, all right? Then this would be enough to scare anyone off the market. 38.26. Come on now. Look at this. Let me just zoom in here. Now, by all metrics, we know the market's overpriced. We totally do. But again, does this work anymore in the current rotation that we're seeing? Have we been able to use this for a long time? No. Schiller hasn't worked for quite a while. This is nothing new. Nothing new is happening here in the markets. Is 38.26 insane? Absolutely. So we need to be aware that this is only the first step of what could be a pullback. I think the daily 20 is the key. Green Toby 26 says that you're correct. Markets were already tanking when ECB news came out. Yes. Driller Deep 2.0 says I'm down around 4K. Sorry to hear that, sir. But it is unfortunately. Darth City says AMC is going down. Yeah, so let's have a quick look at these two. I just want to check them out, and then we'll keep going through our market synopsis here. So thank you as well, 1,415 viewers. Appreciate each and every one of you. It's great. Knock, cover you with $2.99 as well. Says, so what you're saying is there's still a chance. Absolutely. Because the daily 20 is a historically decent pullback zone. We saw that at the start. Scroll back through if you want to have a look at it. Absolutely, there's still a chance. We haven't seen the end yet. We've just seen a day of spike down that could be met by, buying pressure after the first couple of hours where retailers freak out. My guess, though, is the market it might rally, then dump, then rally again. How would we ultimately extract the most amount of money from retail traders today? And when you think in that mindset, you're probably going to pick what the market's going to do absolutely correctly. So AMC, look, again, I got to say, community, I think we were on this one. I think we were spot on, guys. It's hitting the support this morning. and a lot of stocks will be. 39.63 down 12%. Brutal day for AMC holders. But it comes down to, again, understanding the price action. Guys, do you think we were on this one? I believe we were. I believe we were very on board the short here. And there's a few things I want to go through just so everyone realizes it. Number one, support. Lower rallies. The rallies sucked. If the rallies had been hitting up the top, at least they'd be better. These rallies kept making lower highs. Then we breached. And you know what? I didn't say, oh, it's the end of the world here. Because it came back up near the end of the day. And then the next day tested from the bottom up. We get a long leg doji. We get decision made. And as far as I'm concerned, this is exactly where the tides changed. Right on this closure candle. When that happens, the nasty shorting, evil, whatever you want to call it, or just retailers trying to, scumbag it, they're getting in and they're putting in the buy puts, etc. And that candle there, to me, is the pinnacle of the short position. You've waited for the test from the bottom up. You've got a long leg doji, which is an indecision candle. If you don't know what a long leg doji is, make sure you understand it. Indecision, we get a bearish decision made candle and it gets destroyed. And then even in today's video, we talked about it again. Unfortunately, at this stage, most likely down to the 40. Now, do I know where it goes after that? No, I have no idea. I just knew that statistically, there was a likelihood that when we break out of a range, the range of A equals B. And guess what that proved to? Exactly the buying pressure support. So this was highly likely to become the take profit zone. And congratulations to people that took it down. Congratulations, guys, with the puts. But look, do I think this is around the level that I would hope AMC buyers come back in? Of course. It should be. Walter Clinch, super chatted $2.50. IWM at 125-day moving average. We'll take a look at that soon, Walter. Absolutely. So that's the Russell 2000. GME. This thing is, unfortunately, in all sorts of pressure downwards as well. And I'm actually not even saying, let's say AMC goes back down to $12. Let's just say that happens. Or GME goes down to, I don't know, $50 again or something like that. I actually think that as long as there's short interest on these, you can never, ever, ever, as long as there's short interest and Reddit's still around and StockTwits is still around and you guys are still around, you can never discount them from having a resurgence again. Now, will it ever hit the peak pinnacle that it hit this year? I'm not so sure about that. What do you guys think? Do you reckon it'll ever be glorious and go back to the let's say GME? Will it ever go back above $400, guys? What do you think? Does AMC ever go back above, let's call it $80? Not that it ever got there, but let's say it goes above $80. Will that happen again? I'm not sure, but will there be rallies? Absolutely. I believe the rallies will occur. Mexican Silverback says, all aboard, Nets stop the moon. Viva the AMC. John S says, I'm a buyer at those prices. Which one? $50. You'd be surprised how many people say that, though, and then they don't come back. They don't. You would be surprised how many people said, when I remember 2017, Bitcoin at 20K. If Bitcoin comes to 10K, I'm buying. I'm putting my house in there, guys. It comes back to 10K, they'd forgotten about it already. That's the kind of way that the market goes. You forget. Everyone thinks it's irrelevant, and then it comes out when you least expect it. Kind of like when Wall Street punishes the market when you least expect it, like they're doing today. But just to reiterate for everyone coming in, this is not a great day, but it just hit the fake market futures daily 20. And this is the expectation. I always expect that around that daily 20, at least the first touch, you find buying pressure. So what I mean by the first touch is you've got a movement away, a pullback to that zone, and this is like mean reversion. So whenever you hear mean reversion, it comes back to this zone, and that's where the buyers come in and they start pulling it through. That's usually the area. 95% Barber. Who's in 95% Barber? Bull Rocket says, my portfolio is legit. It's 95% Barber. Oh, Bull Rocket, I should send you a coffee, man. Wow. Yeah. Those are, I'll tell you what, we'll just have a look at Barber quickly for you. $202, bloody hell. Right? Even below. the government getting involved in a stock market, it's really bad. And this, it kind of upsets me for a lot of you out there because, you know, if you did this TA and you looked at it and you looked at the downward trend line, you look at the double bottom, you look at the closure, it's a good thing. And you should never, ever, I think the problem is that people have sometimes too much risk in one stock or too much. They don't think about the risk. They go all in. I'm all in, baby. They got the AMC, GME feeling. They're all in. They're ready to go. This is still really good TA. Buying here, getting the closure out, it's still really good TA. And a certain amount of the time, 7 out of 10 times, it will work out for you. That's purely, you know, the way that I look at it. It's going to be a good type of position. You can't necessarily predict that the government's going to get involved. It's a risk, and that risk has unfortunately become reality. Now, do I think that Barber in 12 months' time is higher than $202? I would guess so. I think this whole thing will play out, and you'll find that the Chinese stocks do get rotation back into them, etc. But it doesn't look great today, that's for sure. So let's scroll through these markets. What have we got? We've done the bonds. We've done, of course, some of the markets. We've got to do IWM now. So we have here IWM on 125-day moving average. So supposedly this is the 125. I assume you're talking about the futures, though. So 219 must be the 125. I don't use the 125 moving average. I use the 20 exponential, the 50 exponential, and the 200. A lot of people do use 150, 100. So those moving averages are fairly good. If I was to think what the IWM is probably going to do now, you would almost think for certainty it's going to try towards that 211. So you're going to breach today. If there's no quick pullback with the bullish hammer at the end of the day and we close underneath this 221, does it make logical sense for IWM to weaken into this zone? Even if the rest of the market's bulling up, you would think so. So it's in the middle of a giant channel range. If it ever breaches to the upside or the downside on IWM, we're going to be paying attention on the channel because this is a deal. It's a big deal. If this giant channel fails, either way, we have to pay attention to it because it's a big thing. If you've got the small cap companies all dying and that breaks through down here, do I think the shorters and the bears have full control of the market? At least, yes. I would think that is a big deal. And at the same time, the SP 500 will probably be showing bearishness. The US 100 will also be showing bearishness. Let's move over to the Bitcoins, the Bitnoodles. Bitcoin continues to suck, and it sucks. And you know what? Ethereum did it because Ethereum was unable to close. Now, I talk about breaks and close all the time. I want to reiterate one thing to you guys. It's about the closure, yeah? Closure is key. We go down to this 2-hour chart here on Ethereum. We needed a closure above this point. We will go through all our stocks as per usual very, very soon. So 23.90, we never got a closure. We've got a little long leg doji here. We never got a closure on the larger time frames above the 2400 level. If we did, do I think we'd be at 2600? Yes, I totally do. It's that little minute change that makes a big difference. Then what happens is our beautiful trend line gets obliterated earlier in the Asian session or the end of New York. And then, of course, nasty sellers come back in. Now, could this turn around? Yeah, but it's such a hard market to read right now. I'm using purely very large stats. And again, the whales are starting to come out to play here. I had a look at Bitcoin shorts before. Look at this thing start to rally. I tweeted it, whatever you want to call it. I set that out, FX Evolution, if you want to follow us on the Twitters. And yeah, the nasty, evil BTC short whales have started stacking. And every time they've stacked, usually what's happened is the market's gone down initially. It's then risen. And then as this BTC shorts position has started to scale through, we see, of course, a massive decline in price. So we have to watch. If you're in crypto world, I think this is probably the chart I'd be watching, BTC shorts. I'd be looking at it and I'd be following those nasty whales. The other thing I'd be looking at is Datamish. Datamish will show us a very similar thing. Let's refresh this. Refresh for me, Datamish. Also, I got this today from... let me see if I can load this. Here we go. I got this today from Knock Knock. Shout out to Knock Knock. So supposedly, this dude, who I don't know who it is, the Honorable Patrick J. Toomey, whoever that is, somewhere in the US, has purchased the BTCs and the Ethereums. Look at this. Wow. Imagine if they were all purchasing in. Would that be a good sign? Absolutely. Little low. I want 15K, 1 to 15K. Come on, man. We need at least 100,000 of your mullahs in there. Only 1 to 15K. That's very, very weak on the F of the BTC. Anyway, this has come up here, and yeah, it's the first kind of start potentially of, I guess, some investment from US fairly high players, and that's a big deal. So yeah, check out Datamish. It's a cool way of looking at BTC shorts coming through against price and the long versus short ratios and stuff. I quite like this website. I think it's pretty sweet if you want to check it out. So Ethereum and BTC, how do we look at it over the next 24 hours? I would have it a guess that, as I said, it usually rallies even though the short positions are going to be coming through. I think a bit of money may go in here as well as people go, oh, I'm scared of the stock market. Let's put some more money in Bitcoin and other things we believe in. So maybe we get some rally there. But there's no TA for me right now other than me looking at the weekly and continuously zooming in here and saying, damn, where are our closes? And you know what? If we get rid of these lines, let's make this clear. Naked charts here, guys. Let's have a look. We've got buy weeks, buy weeks, buy weeks, buy weeks, buy weeks. I don't want to see any weekly closure underneath this zone. It's a big ask. You know, that's basically saying that by the end of this weekend, we want Bitcoin above 34.5. Hell yeah, we do. Because I don't want to see no weekly close underneath this zone. Because if that happens, what we have done is we have shown that their buyers are losing a commitment to push this thing higher. And that will be the first time that we actually close a weekly underneath the 34.5. I think it's a pretty big deal. It's also the 50 exponential on the weekly. So let's see. Let's see where the rally ends up being. I won't make any real choices on what I'm doing with Bitcoin until I see more information. And sometimes you got to be patient. GME goes above once their transition to full e-commerce is complete, says D__G. E underscores, a lot of underscores here, says there's going to be so much stuff on the moon in a decade. Not sure what you mean about that. Moon? The moon? What's on the moon? You mean AMC's on the moon? Or you mean you're on the moon? Or just all the stocks are on the moon? I'm not sure. Let's see what the rest of the community is saying here. Tyrone's whinging about coming on the stream. Well, you got to come on the stream, Ty. We got to get you on the stream. We've got our option special coming up soon as well. So you got to make sure you subscribe for that, guys. It's gonna be a good session. Tyrone, my business partner, the guy I've traded with all this time for the last 12 years, he's the man on options. So don't worry, we're gonna get on here and we're gonna talk a lot about the option stuff. So we've got Bitcoin, we've got Ethereum, we've got the crypto market in disarray at this stage. I think the stock market's probably where the more interesting stuff is. We also have gold firing. Now, we started talking about this about 2 days ago. The big teller for me was actually the daily close. So let me just show you the daily close. And it looks kind of bizarre, but it is what it is. So here is the resistances. Here is the daily close, okay? Looks pretty random, yeah? But what that daily close told me, even though it's a huge rejection, is that it, for the first time ever, closed above the previous resistances. We also had some very interesting stuff coming into this. The classic false break, never really closed below daily here, which steals everyone's money and makes them go into the short, followed by huge bullish pressure. And this closure here was significant to me in this particular one. In fact, I even took a picture of it and chucked it in our chart of the day. I'll show you guys. So I took a few. One of them, I'll show you. There we go. So one of them is this one here, which obviously is the closure above, and I drew my red box. So what the red box is really telling me is I'm looking for a pullback back to that zone. So then we get, of course, a pullback to the red box, and we get what we call a lightning bolt style. So when we get a lightning bolt, what we can do is we can start saying, okay, we've been patient, we've waited for the closure above, we've waited for the commitment of the buyers in this market. They've pulled it back, and then we get our lightning bolt on the smaller time frame, which leads to us believing that now the buyers are committed and they're ready to rock it out. So if you want to join at least the public Discord and have a chat with the community, definitely do so. !Discord. The link should come up immediately. So we've got gold coming through here at 816. Strong move here from the session. Where do I think it goes next? I actually think like the 1845 is my target here over the next coming week for gold. Hopefully it can continue to find this bullish pressure. If we get a closure here for the end of the day, I'd be like, beautiful. That would be sweet for gold trades, because a daily 50 breach plus that wick rejection high, I would think that's starting to set up for some nice little swing action on the smaller time frames in terms of movement for this particular sector. Hopefully it did. Rick CB73 says gold positive RSI divergence. Interesting. Yep. These lines of Raymond says these lines of Coca-Cola say short the VIX. Did you find them, Raymond? Did you make sure that they were correctly, the tea leaves were correctly set, the Coke was correctly set? We got Andy Pandy coming in here, super chatted, knocked $50. Good time for investors to sell and rebuy at lower levels, or too early to tell? I think Andy Pandy, definitely too early to tell. If you have a 1.5% down into a daily 20 moving average on the S&P, load that up on your chart, Andy, and you will see that level is historically a very good kind of like bouncy level. And I don't expect the fake market futures to come in at 1.5. They might go to 1.8, they might go to 1.9, but I usually expect at least a bit of, buying action. Whether it just comes in from people wanting to buy the dip from retail, I don't know. Remember, the market is all about maximum extraction. If I was to maximum extract the most amount of money out of the retail market, what would I do? I would do this. Bouncy bounce. Give them hope. Take away the hope. Give them hope. Take away the hope. Demolish hope. Give them hope. And then demolish hope. Why does the market work in these ways? Because it's about making sure that Wall Street steals much from us. If they can, they will do it. They will literally punish us. And that's kind of why the market's TA works. Because you're understanding the dynamics of the theft. That's really what it is. The buyer and the seller dynamics is the dynamics of the theft. But to answer your question, the 20 moving average here, exponential, just got hit in the fake market futures. And that's the level that I think will be, at least the first kind of buy zone for a lot of dip-based buyers. And a lot of it's got to do with first touches. So again, just to reiterate, it's all about market moves up. Market comes back one time to the 20. There are going to be some buyers here that believe in the rally. Maybe we go and make new highs and we touch our community trend line and everything becomes great in a few days' time. Hopefully it does. But this will be the teller, if that occurs, that something is not right with the market. And then we've got to pay attention. Today is just the nasty redness. Welcome to the 1,690 viewers. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I hope you're enjoying it. And we do this every night of the week, so make sure you subscribe, and we do the pre-open. It's always fun. Let's go through all the rest of the stuff. So we've got Tesla. Tesla, 628. This stock, I tell you what, it's going to be on support, full support of our previous trend line. What a nasty, very difficult to trade in many ways market Tesla is. We have all these lines. We knew that 700 was a problem for it. It filled the gap. It's coming down. It's going to hit the bottom of the trend line. And again, it's a stock that's showing us it's at that point that's critical buy zone for Tesla. If it's going to bounce, you know what? That's the level I expect it to bounce off. 200 daily moving average. The top trend line that it breached through over here continues down. The intersection of the trend line coming through here and the previous resistance around that zone. Does it make sense for this stock to potentially bounce off this level? Yeah, it kind of does. Let's look at some more stocks. Let's see if some more stocks are hitting key supports ahead of the market open. Let's have a look at Apple, which has been bouncing heavily. So that's not going to be down there enough because, of course, it moved so much yesterday. So that would be like maybe a 140. So it's 140, 166. Let's have a look at something else that's been moving down. Go to CRISPR here. 135. Wow. When CRISPR gets dominated, it really gets dominated. So this is actually underneath where you would expect it to be buying off. This previous resistance, about that 138, would be where you'd hope CRISPR was bouncing off. Let's have a look at AMD. What's that looking like this morning? 87.42. So 87.42, where is this? Daily 20 moving average. 20 moving average, daily. How's that been acting? Buying pressure, buying pressure. You know, it's right around that type of zone where you see those initial purchases come through on the market. And again, I'm not telling you to do anything here. I'm just saying it's starting, you know, these are the types of things that I look at through markets. I go through the stocks. I see how many of them are hitting supports that make sense. If there's a lot of them, then I do pay attention to that. And of course, it makes sense for it to be doing that because if you've got the whole SP500 hitting support, being the 20 moving average, most of the stocks are also going to be hitting those zones. And it's up to you to then navigate through them. So a lot are going to be down. Let's have a look here at the Webull scanner. Let's see how brutal it really is. Close my eyes. I don't want to see. Okay. Oh, let's click it again. All right. Hopefully you're not in RNG, which is Ring Central. That stock is down 8.23%. And of course, Enphase, one that's been going up basically 5% per day, is down 5.38. If you love that company, maybe it's hitting a level that interests you. We've got DoorDash, 4.35%. We'll look at Enphase soon, by the way. We've got SE. I love their ads. There's some good ads, guys. The Shopee Singapore ads are hilarious. We've got Square, one of my favorites, getting brutalized. It's the double hit combo. You've got crypto coming down, and of course, you've got the stock market coming down at the same day, 234. We've got Zscaler down 3.91%. Shopify brutalized 3.6. I mean, it's bad. It's bad, but we have a look at some of these. We'll find out whether they're on supports. Let's go over now to the speculation watch list. Let's see which ones of these meme stocks are getting beaten through. AMC 39.55, unfortunately down 12.23%. So around that $40 is where you expect buyers to be a bit more committed, maybe to trying to buy the dip this morning. Again, it's a very risky play. And then we have, what else have we got? Riot, all those other ones that have been going through. And is there anything even green here in the speculation list? I don't think there's even a green. There's nothing green, guys. So we close it. We ignore it. RNG equals random number generator. All the games will tell you RNG is brutal. That's true. Okay, AY Tech Super Chat at $4.99. Could you please have a look at NVIDIA? And thank you. Yeah, let's have a look at NVIDIA for you. NVIDIA, well, you already know I'm not a huge fan of this stock after it broke through my two key levels. So one of my levels was, of course, the 700, and the second level was 800. Now, I love the company. I also know if you're looking for a 3080, the prices are coming down, guys. And on top of that, or 3070, on top of that, supply is hitting the shelves thanks to the crypto crash. So there is supply and there is demand. There is a huge amount of price decline coming. That's good news if you're a gamer and you want those cards. Let's look at it from the stock perspective, though. So we've got the daily here, and it is a big trajectory up. I mean, basically, this is a huge amount of bullish movement that's occurred here, and it hasn't even come back once to the daily 20. So is there a fair bit of problems here on NVIDIA? From the daily, it certainly looks like it. We know there's a stock split coming up. I've been very consistent with saying I believe it's a buy the rumor, sell the fact kind of stock, so I don't believe in the stock split actually driving price higher. I do love the company, though. Let's have a look here at the 4-hour. 4-hour 20 was bought off once before. So where are we going to open? 792. Okay. So let's think we get an early bounce. This is kind of the zone that previously market bought off. It's the only bit of moving average that we have of the deeper discount. So we're going to open just slightly underneath that, and we can clearly rally above. This will probably be a very telling thing for NVIDIA traders throughout the session. 20 moving average here, red line, the first touch, bounce off. This time, we're going to open $2 down. Again, we're still about half an hour, or 40-ish minutes away from the market to open. So it could change. It could go to 795 and open around here. This is where I expect buyers to at least show some commitment into it. Daily 200 is down at 763. So, the bigger, deeper pullback for NVIDIA would push it here. And I would expect some buyers to come in around this zone. It's just as simple as we go back through history and look at the rallies. Let's think about the rally over here. Huge rally. What held up the whole way through this rally? The daily 20. If you're underutilizing the daily 20, it's very good on tech stocks in the US. Because when they go into hyper rallies, they tend to like pulling back to this moving average, and they tend to show a lot of bullish strength here. And NVIDIA loves the 20. In this case, it loved the 50. See how it becomes a reoccurring event? The 50, the 50, the 50, the 50. Once you recognize which moving average it's finding, that's the one that you usually want to, quote, buy the dip on. Quote. So AY Tech, good luck. NVIDIA, to me, is a buy the rumor, sell the fact into the split. However, if you love the company and you want to know where you're looking at getting into it, or, of course, maybe there's something else and you want to, I don't know, maybe just look where you want to get out of it. I'm thinking daily 20 is the big key, but 4-hour 20 is also something I'd be looking very closely at in the morning. E-Frame says, all red today. You think this market sell-off continues tomorrow or into next week? Any fundamental catalyst behind it? So again, let's ask the chat. Anyone else got any more information that they feel is causing this crash? Put it in the room now. I'll read it. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. I tend to think it's just crap. And basically, they're coming up with some excuse to dive it in the morning. The reality is, the jobs number was, in my opinion, a slight miss. That means the Fed cannot do anything, and they will not do anything for some time. The ECB came out before, and they've said, we know inflation might be there, but we're not going to change the interest rates because we want to see more growth. I think they're both strong things for the market over the longer term, at least from the aspect. The only weak thing about the jobs number was, of course, the skilled jobs. Again, it's more about the Fed than the skilled jobs at this stage. John N says it's going to be a bloodbath out there today. Well, I think we're already seeing it in the morning. So a lot of the time, the futures will come in really hard. They'll go bad. You'll see a rally early. You'll see a second fall off, and then you'll see a rally into the end. It's what happens at the close that's the key here. That's when Wall Street get in and they really start placing their positions. If we look at yesterday's market as well, what were they placing positions in? Strange positions. So they liked the tech. They kind of liked everything, but they've been strangely positioning a little bit more in utilities. And again, I don't really look at this too much, but I look at it every day, but I don't look at the utilities positioning that much. What I always go with is more the bonds. The bonds probably tell us the better story here of what's going on in the market. Okay. David Taylor says, hi, Tom. Any thoughts on XLV or IBB? So let's have a look at IBB for you. That's the biotechnology fund. It's down 1.46% this morning. Straight into support, man. So 159.07. So that puts us around here. So previous resistances, get rid of that. Support, I got really no thoughts about this other than I like biotechnology. And I believe it's a big thing for the future. And I do think this is the decade of biotechnology. So pull back into this zone is around the correct rate and around the correct level for the fear. Again, it's another one of these indices or sectors that's hitting support today. Let's have a quick look at XLF as well. I want to see the financial sector. Interesting. So the financial sector is down 1.81% this morning. I say interesting because we had it pull down to here, which we expected. We expected the rally. It consolidated around the daily 2050. Look at the consolidation. Let's go to the 2 hour. It breached underneath a day ago, and then it's selling back off to 35.24, you would think, for the financials. Because I think the financials can go down anyway. Remember, low interest rate environment and not raising rates is bad. It's bad for this sector. This nasty sector is the one that does not do well with low interest rates. Let's see what everyone says. James USA says weekly 360 puts on the QQQ are going to pay today 24,500 open. Congratulations, James. That's awesome to hear for you, man. Thank you very much to the subscribers as well coming in. If I wanted to get into an ETF like XLI, XLF, which one? Energy maybe? Question mark. We'll have a look at the energy markets for you very, very soon. I'm up about 70% on XLF, says S. Burgos. You mean from down here? Yeah. Look at the index. It's beautiful. But you know what? If you were talking about where I think the market gets destroyed, it's if we get through there. Imagine if we get through there. 35.75 is where it is right now, and we're only talking about 35.20. You know, what have you got here? You've got a sequence that we talk about all the time. Peak, trough, lower peak, lower trough. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. XLU double bottom. Let's have a look. Good day to look at these. Yep, you're correct. XLU double bottom. Key critical resistance as well. You know, I've been one not to look at this utilities market much because I don't like utilities early cycle, and if we believe it's early cycle, but that is absolutely correct. Nice spot, sir. Support, double bottom. Beautiful supports become resistance level, and if this gets broken above, you know what? You've correctly analyzed the market. Congratulations. It's very nice. Very nice, this one. Daily. This is the 2-hour chart as well. Let's have a look at it on the daily. Yep. Great consolidation. Very key critical level. It's all about waiting for your closure. And probably what will happen is it'll close, it'll rally down, and then it'll find like a little buy there. And then hopefully back rally into the 60, 650. If slow and steady wins the race for you, that is actually a very solid double bottom there. AJ, $5 says, may you please look at SPCE and consider the next test flight on Sunday. I'll consider it for you. But AJ, you know I don't love that stock, man. The SPCE. Too early. Virgin Galactic Holdings. So you want me to consider the flight? Well, firstly, flights are dangerous. And what I mean by that is, I hate airplane stocks, guys. Never airplane stocks. I don't buy them. I guess you could have bought them through the pandemic so they're not flying. And you know why I don't like them? Because if one falls out of the sky, which is very unfortunate, you lose like 20% of your money in one day. And I talked about risk before. I do not like them. This is kind of like the super risky version of that. Plus, it doesn't have fundamentals to support it. So you're saying there's a flight. Okay. Let's say, and I believe this is when Thingy's going into the space or whatever. So when he goes into space on Sunday, and if it's successful, do I think that it will probably spike the stock? You would think so. Is it based on anything fundamental or any future realization of profits or anything like that? I don't think so, chat. I do not think so at all. In fact, I think that's crap. But you know what? Let's just say that you love space and you believe that this space stock is cool and it's going to work out for you over the long term. Then 42.20, we fill a gap. We fill the gap. We hit the 20. We have a flight successful, theoretically. It should spike the stock tweets. It should spike the Reddit, and I would expect a rally. Yes, I would. Now, if the flight, something happened to it and it exploded, you would be stuffed. It would be so bad. Oh my God. Are you talking about 20%? You're going to lose 40%. God, that'd be bad. That scares me. I wouldn't sleep well until I saw that baby up in the sky and then all the way back down again. I would not sleep well. So daily, filling the gap is a deal. This is definitely a thing that you want to see in markets. You also want to go back over history and see whether it does fill gaps. So over here it didn't fill a gap. Over here it didn't fill a gap. Over here it did fill the gap. So does it generally fill gaps? Over here didn't fill the gap. No, it doesn't seem to generally fill the gaps. So maybe that's not even what we can use. Maybe even over the next 2 days, it comes down to $35. And if it hits around this zone or around here, what is this? 30, 36, 37, something like that. Then if you like to gamble into the weekend and you want to see that flight and rejoice, I would think that, it would go up. Chat, what do you think about SPCA? I'm not au fait with this whole thing. I'm just looking at it going, it scares me. Do you think that if the flight is successful, it goes up or down? Tell me right now. Let's see if we can get the answer to the question. Conscious Super Chat $2.99. Thoughts on LVS? We'll check that out soon, Conscious. And Ulrich Nielsen DKK $20. Hey Tom, how far down do you see XPEV going? We'll check that out soon. SPCE. I don't understand. I don't get it, guys. No. This reminds me of 3D printing back in 12. It reminds me of marijuana back in whenever it was, 16 or 17. It's the next big thing. It's great. It's glorious. It's all cool. And then it's not. Too dangerous, guys. Let's see what the room says. They say, Lars says it's going up. Boytonis says up. You guys are all saying up. Chris Alexander says down anyway. And Tom says this is too much risk for my liking. Anyone ever had... Is there Dippin' Dots in America? Do you know what Dippin' Dots are? Does anyone know what Dippin' Dots is? I think it's space ice cream. I remember having that like 15 years ago. Damn, space ice cream wasn't too bad. It's like little... I don't know if it's liquid nitrogen ice cream. It was pretty sweet. Supposedly it was made and designed for space. Anyway, we're not here to discuss that. Let's have a look at US oil. So US oil hit the tippity top for us. That was the end of what we believed the rally would be for now. And it certainly has fallen off quite drastically. In fact, this one crunched the 20. So we can go back through the history and you'll notice the 20 did get supported most of the time. It crunched it. And because it crunched it, not super bullish here on oil. I don't really feel two ways about it. I think it could rally. I think it could go down. It's a bad answer, I know. But that's because it already got smashed $6, $5. It hit the daily 20. It closed below. It's going to do its own thing. The OPEC summit, the manipulation can come in at any time. And I always think that with this, I'm actually focusing on it hitting the weekly 20. And until it hits the weekly 20, I'm not looking at US oil again. It either breaches 77 or it comes down to the weekly 20. Either or, I don't care. We will then assess the situation at that point. Everything else is just noise to me on this chart at this stage. Sabrina says, Tom, it's Dippin' Dots. Dippin'. How do I say that in American? Dippin' Dots. And we have it. Yes. Dippin' Dots. You know that in Australia, we always like slur our words. We only have slang here in Australia, guys. I'm sorry. Slang Australia. You have to forgive us. You know, I still will never know what jam is in America. Never will I know what jam is. Jelly and jam, you guys confuse me. Aluminum, it confuses me. But jelly and jam specifically confuses me. LVS Las Vegas Sands. So a lot of people are sending me these right now. They're saying, Tom, I see Vegas. I've been there. It is kicking ass and things are going really great. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? So I believe it. I believe things are going really great. But the stocks are telling us a different story. I mean, LVS looks hard. This weekly is disgusting right now. So can we buy this? I think the answer is absolutely not. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole. And it's not so much that I don't believe you when you sell me that Las Vegas is kicking ass and everyone's playing blackjack and gambling roulette everywhere. And actually, usually gambling is pretty good during a pandemic not pandemic, during a recession kind of situation. However, this trend is horrid. And until we see accumulation, meaning something like this, maybe $48 is reached, and then it starts to actually sideways action. Look at gold as a great example. Gold's a good example of a bit of accumulation going on there. Until we see that, I can't be sure that this hideous downtrend is over. So, this trend is basically, it's come down, it's hit the top of the trend line, and it's sold off again and made a new low. I'm thinking $48 for LVS. Not even kidding you. It's $49.80 today. And then if it hits that zone, maybe we find some buying pressure and create some sideways action. And you know what? We can come back into it later on. But you're not going to miss the end. You usually see a lightning bolt, an accumulation, or something like that occurring before this. I'm not even sure if I can attack brand logos, but I watched, I think it was JonTron video, and there's a jam or a jelly or something. I don't know what you call it. The one where you spread it on we call it jam, but you call it jelly, I believe, where you spread it on the bread, on the toast. And you got like a really popular one. It's like, I can't remember it, but they changed their logo and I think it looks like trash. The new logo is really disappointing. The old logo was like 2 strawberries. It was beautiful. The new logo, do not like it. So conscious thoughts on LVS. Unfortunately, I do think there's further downside pressure here. Let's have a look at XPEV here now. XPeng. XPEV. Pre-market 39.29. Okay. Ooh, that's down a lot. 7.69%. At least it's into the critical kind of zone. Let's see if we can find the weekly on this. So what I like to do here is I like to kind of look at the weekly for closures and wicks and see how the body closures happen over month, over weeks. This just gives us invaluable information to try to find out the next kind of move. This is a motor vehicle company. Smuckers, that's the one, Richard. That's the one. Smuckers. Let me check this out here for a second. Smuckers, new logo versus old. I want the community to tell me, and I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, this thing here, which is the better logo? If I was to see these logos, which one do you like more? This one above or this one down here? 20 seconds, chat. Which one do you like more? I need to know if I'm wrong. Which is the better logo? Here or here? Top or bottom? Another trash logo, MasterCard's logo. But yes, these two. I don't know what's going on with this one. Looks like a design company or something. Let's see what the people think. What does everyone think? All right, here we go. Top one. Lol, what is that logo? Top one. Look at you. Oh, Martin likes the bottom one. Martin keeps voting the bottom one. Damn it, Martin. Why? Why do you like the one? Bottom is crap, says Scott. Yeah, top. Imagine spending like millions of dollars rebranding your logo and coming up with that hideous, ugly... Look at it. It looks like a design company, guys. If I saw that in my jam, I wouldn't even know what it was. Is it a pear? What is that? I mean, I guess I can get this one's a strawberry. You know, maybe if we draw like a little like strawberry top on it. That's a bit better. This is like a lime. I mean, it's dumb. Anyway, we're in a market crash. So we got to talk about the market, guys. We got to talk about the market. People want Neo. All right, we'll do it. Damien says, I hate them both equally. Fair enough. So the ET, where was it? This one here, XPEV is right on support, Ulrich. You can see around this zone, previous resistances, 50 exponential, another stock hitting support early in the morning, just like those 20 moving averages. I'm hoping for a bounce here, guys. Tyron Abella, $5. Dinner says Dustin Poirier takes out McGregor on the weekends. Read it out so I have 2,000 witnesses. of the bet. Wait, why do I not get to pick about... Well, actually, who does people think? I mean, I'm going to go... Oh, McGregor. Can McGregor even win anymore? Does he even care? If he loses, he'll fight one of the Pauls. That's what will happen. That's a prediction. I'll take it, Ty. Why not? I'll take the dinner. So I'm going McGregor. Is that right? Yeah. Come on, McGregor. You can win, bro. I'm going to be very, very happy with that. Echo Aurora, $2 Australian. Great TA on LYC by Ty yesterday. More milk choc. Excellent to hear that, Eka. Glad you're doing well on LYC. That's a stock here in Australia. So let's go around our favorite stocks. Firstly, we'll just have a quick look at the pre-market bedlam. So AMC now only down 10.65%, finding support around that $40. That's good news for you guys. Everything else is still red. So we'll look at the big stocks. For the meme stocks, though, AMC holding that zone is really important. Look at it on the support resistance side. You will see what I'm talking about. We do still have some pretty big, brutal beatdowns here. Square, SE, Twilio, CrowdStrike, all down pretty hard. Stocks that have moved fairly aggressively recently. And then we've got, on the green side, basically nothing. Basically nothing. All right, let's go through all of these now. Zillow. Not for us, guys. Not for us. Square. 235. Okay. 235 is not good. Let's have a look. Some 235. So it's just underneath the 20 moving average. I don't really like that at all, actually. And you guys know I love... Ugh. Yeah, I was worried about that one. I'm very, very much watching this. This is nasty, isn't it? Rejection. What if we were looking so good? We were looking like we were going to breach it. You know, we'll have to start paying attention to this for Square on the weekend. You know what? I wouldn't touch it because that is a nasty looking double rejection there. Weekly's not closed, but 235 is not great for Square. I got to I'll still be, looking, but it's all good. Apple, 140, 143. So this is the type of pullback that you need to start paying attention to if you want to get into this breach, if you believe in the buy side here for Apple and the move in July. So 141. So I guess 140 would be probably some decent buying. Let's have a look at the 4-hour 20 moving average. 4-hour 20 moving average, 137 after this big aggressive breakout. We know it's gone once, twice, 3 times here on the movement up. We also know it found some buying pressure there before. So it could be further pressure to come on to Apple, but I'll be looking at the 140. What I'm looking for here is like a 15-minute. I want to see a little 15-minute lightning bolt to give me, or a 5-minute even, to give me some sign that there's bullish pressure coming back through. Let's have a look at Amazon, another FANG stock that's broken out recently. 36.34, probably not low enough for a lot of people. Let's have a look at Google. Again, 25.62. Ooh, not bad. Okay, I can get behind that. 25.62. That pretty much puts us back into previous little resistance on the break in the 4-hour 20, which it's found buying pressure at quite a few times. Once, twice, breaches, support. Okay, yeah, I can get behind the Google idea. 25.62, not bad. Let's have a look at Snowflake. Snowflake had a great day yesterday. Not sure why, but it's down today. Not as weak, 2.71%. Bottom of the range, rallied again. You'd have to think something's going on here, guys. Anyone that loves Snowflake, you got any super inside information to give me? Give the chat. Sharing is caring, guys. We also got Sandollar77, one of the first ever super chats for the channel, coming in with $4. Thank you very much, Sandollar. Appreciate it today. Just to reiterate, everyone, the big story of today for people that are joining us today is that, yes, the markets are down. Daily 20 moving average was hit on the SP500. That's probably the key indicator to be looking at today. If it does bounce off this, I think this is just a little bit of a flash to scare people out before rallying up, and it certainly is scaring everyone. It takes more than just one day of red to begin a bear market. So it's not just this one day, or it's not going to crash most likely or anything like that. It's all about finding that support. But this snow is not bad. Maybe people want the... What's up with TLT? 20 years. TLT continues to fire. This just means more rotation into this because people are taking money out of the stocks and putting money on the side. Let's have a look at NEO for you. While we wait for this snow. NEO. 43.52. Oh my goodness. Wow, it's not a bad level, is it? Well, we haven't changed any of these lines. It hit our original target, which is 55. It hit every one of our targets pretty well, I thought. Geez, that's a level, isn't it? 43.56. Pre-market for NEO. The government is unlikely to hate on NEO because they need them, because they want the electric cars. Let's think big brain here. They want these cars to be successful. They want the electronic revolution to happen, and it's coming back to a previous level of support, resistance, and a 50 and a 200. Yeah, I'm going to add NEO to my list today. Nice. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's obviously you always want to wait for that little bit of extra confirmation, but hot dang, up here, NEO. You can go over there. Not bad. What's this sell-off into crypto? Anyone know anything about the snow? Let's have a look. TLT. Let's look at end phase. We'll do that second. So Shal says, thank you, Tom. Chin up, everybody. That's right. Fire sale today, folks, says Boogie Troy. That's right. Not too bad. McGregor for the win says... Okay. Well, I'm not sure if McGregor will win. We'll see. A lot of people don't seem to really care about that anymore. Used to be the biggest thing, but now it's not. I don't know what's going on with snow, but I do know that I'm still looking at the 252 breach as being a key level. And I think that if you like this stock, it's kind of come down enough around that 242. You know your worst kind of positioning here is around that 234.67, and then it's all over and it's bad. So, yeah, interesting. Let's have a look at end phase. End phase at 172. So 172, right on the daily. Not bad. If you like the stock, I mean, this has lost 15%. It's probably about 16, 17% from the top. Yeah, right around that correct level. 172, 170, where the daily 20 is. Another stock hitting that key level. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Snow is due to Pentagon contracts, says Shizzy Wiznut, $2 US. Thank you very much, Shizzy. Appreciate it. Pentagon contracts, that's good business. It's exactly what you want. But I quite like the chart here. If we take this away and we think about it, what this is it's a head and shoulders with a neckline going like that. And the big thing with head and shoulders, you always want the right shoulder to be higher than the left shoulder. Ideally, the right shoulder is higher than the left shoulder, and that's a big deal. By the way, if you want to find out some more about technical analysis, check out the link up above. You can click that one, get 3 free cheat sheets, divergence one, a candlestick one, and of course, a pattern one. I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel the snow. It's been almost 1 year as well. September to now. So you know I hate IPOs in America unless you're early in on them, like the day one, like over here where you make lots of money. But it's it's almost been a year. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Let's have a look at Disney. Is that going on fire sale? Not yet. 170. 170. I don't think that's really very key for Disney. QCOM, one that we've been looking at, down 1.76, unfortunately. Not a bloodbath, but definitely down. I could see that buying off this zone. Resistance, support, another stock kind of hitting a key level that you should be looking at. Eric Bone says $4.99. Clover Health, please. Great channel. Appreciate it, man. Let's have a look at Clover Health for you. Clove. The short stock Crazy switcheroony. The pump dumpy. I guess the big problem with Clov was what history told us about the pump dumpy. Pumpy, dumpy, pumpy, dumpy, gradual decline. So is there going to be buyers coming back in to demand this stock? Let's have a look. Let's try to be logical about it. We know where our base is, where it kind of just like maybe find some fair value, or at least people are not prepared to sell it. We know it's sitting at 917 pre-market. Is that right? Is that correct? So I actually expected to go even low. Oh, no, that's about right. 913. Previous resistance. Let's have a look at the weekly. Yeah, probably about there, man. If it doesn't hold that, I could see like a $6 on it. With these positions, I mean, I guess you've got to kind of buy a level and hope you bought the dip. You can't really wait for the normal technical analysis of, scaling in through lightning bolts and stuff. I really believe Clov or any of these, you're just looking at social media arb. So you've got to go on stock Twitch. You've got to look at the momentum. You've got to go on Reddit. You've got to look at the momentum increase. And if there's a huge amount of chatter about it, then you know that there's something going on. Also, you want to look at volume increases. And ideally, I believe that with a lot of these short squeezes, you don't necessarily need to be in on the first day. You need to recognize the trend. So say over here, there was a slight increase in price where it was coming through. And then on this day, the volume started going out of control. And you can almost look at it from the perspective of the volume starts to go. And if it gets above all of the other ones, so say like you put a line through this, by the time it's here, you almost could have to enter into the position. Maybe that's one of the best ways of taking meme stocks. It's as the volume is rising through that next all-time level, because you can see the volume through the day breaching previous peaks. Maybe that's when you want to start taking it. And it has to be in the green side. So you don't want to see volume increasing on a red candle. You want to see volume increasing on a bull candle that's being met by social Twitter change as well. But yeah, Clov overall, pretty dangerous stuff. Can you please look at Nike for us? Let's have a look at Nike. Another big breakout stock that I have not been that bullish on. Obviously, I thought when it broke out that it has the potential of going to this level up here, which is about 166. We got 160 yesterday and it's on 157. The big issue you're going to have here from a technical perspective and why you can't really read it is that there's no moving average that can really catch up with it yet because it moved with a big gap off price. So you have to look at the candles and what they're telling you. Yesterday was an indecision day. This is a long leg doji, a high, a low, a price in the middle. Indecision, doesn't know what it wants to do at the 160 psychological level. Today it's 157. Is that any particular area? You would have to argue not really. I mean, maybe if we go down to a 5-minute, let's see if we can see something on a 15 5-minute. I mean, you'd be clutching at straws and going, okay, well, 156 was the previous peak. So if there's going to be a little bit of rally buying, it'll be around that 156. And then after that, maybe even 147, which is the previous peak. So I'd go like this level, 152, 156, and then 147. Yeah, that's really all you can do. It's very tough to TA this type of stuff. And you're really just going with, do you like the company at this point and following the trend? To know the end of the market is coming will usually be like this. Peak, trough, lower peak, lower trough. That's generally the end of one of these big rallies. It doesn't just go like this. The only thing that goes like this is a meme stonk. All right, we've got 8 minutes to dial in here on the market, so let's do it together. You guys get to pick, of course, one of the stocks that you want to check out today. So we will watch the US 500 come in. I think that's super important. We watch this one. So we'll be watching this. Daily 20 was hit in the fake market futures. You can see it here. This is probably the most important moving average for you to be looking at. If I was to watch one chart and pay attention to it, that would be my one. I would be laser focused on the US 500 today for sure. You guys pick the others. What do you want? What do you want to see? Chat, tell me now. I will watch Tesla because someone will vote for this. I know they will. They always do. So we'll chuck Tesla in there. It's almost worth watching AMC as well this morning. But we'll see what you guys want to watch. AAPL, Enphase, Barber. Let's go, says Bull Rocket. Bull Rocket. 95% Barber portfolio, Bull Rocket. You're a beast. K Kennedy, $4.99 for the morning coffee. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for the TA. Appreciate it, K Kennedy. Great supporter of the channel. Also, another great supporter, Cold Steel. Super chatting $5. Can you take a look at Newegg? YouTube won't let me type the code. Lol. Newegg doesn't let you type the code. Really? We'll have a look at Newegg. Computer supplier in the US. Apple, QQQ. Man, you guys love Apple. Let's do Apple then. Apple. Apple. 141.90. Let's have a look at all the time frames here. 2 hour. I want to see 141.90. Oh, 2 hours pretty good. 2 hour nice rallies off 2 hour. Nice. 140.53. And that will catch up as well on the open. Interesting. Okay, we'll watch Apple on the open for sure. And then the other one you guys want is either a Baba or an Amazon or something else. I'm not sure. You guys have got all sorts of crazy stocks. I'd say it's split between a whole bunch. JP Morgan says, no. We're not, come on, JP Morgan. JP Morgan, we're not checking that one out. We'll go with Amazon. I'm not sure why everyone wants to look at the Amazon. I guess just the breaks the last couple of days have been fierce. Let's have a look at the 2 hour on the Amazon. 2 hour. Oh, so yesterday it hit that 36. Oh no, that's today. No, 36.45 on the 2 hour 20. Has it liked the 2 hour 20? Liked it a bit over here. Interesting. Okay. So a few things hitting support here in the morning after what you could cast as a potential opportunity. Let's check out Newegg now when we'll go back over to that one. Let's have a look at Newegg. Is it this one? Newegg Commerce? What the hell happened here? Oh, this is the one that everyone was posting in the room. Are you kidding me? So this is actually Newegg, the website that sells computers. What? Some kind of short squeeze on it. I like it, guys. That's funny. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I would not touch that thing right now. If you missed the boat, I'm sorry to tell you, you missed the boat. I mean, maybe somehow it gets to the $100 target, but you better be prepared at $100 because wow, that is ridiculous. What is this crap? Jeez. Anyway, whatever. That thing looks terrible, Cold Steel. Looks terrible, man. If you miss it, you miss it. Robbie wants me to look at Barber. Let's do Barber. Barber. 202. So, a few things to break down here with these stocks. Firstly, we have a crazy weekly trend line. Let's see if we can actually dial it in perfectly here. See if we can dial that beastie in. So, we have the low there. We have equal kind of lows around there, which tiles in with about 200. Yep, it's put up or shut up for Barber right now. Because this is exactly, this is the end, isn't it? It's the weekly 200. Surely it finds buying pressure here. Surely around that $200, Barber does fire. That is ridiculous. We can't have that many sell-off days without some recovery in this stock. I mean, it's not fairly priced. It's only worth $574 billion. And when you compare that to something like an Amazon, which is worth how much right now? Let's have a look at Amazon. Amazon's worth 1.86 trillion. So probably at least Barber should be worth, you would think, 700 bill, 750 bill. Like that is just by just general metrics across it. It's pretty crazy. So there's 2 minutes to go. Let's get into a bit of hype. We've got our 4 screeners here. We will be watching quite a lot of stocks on the open. It's going to be a bloodbath, guys. But remember, daily 20 has been hit. VIX is out of control above 20. VIX can often be quite misleading though. So be careful when you're trading that one. We'll get in a little bit of the hype here. So we'll load up intro. We'll load up the intro. Let's do that. All right, here we go, guys. So, I hope everyone has a good day. I hope it works out for you. We'll enjoy a bit of intro, and then we'll find out what the market has in store for us. Thank you very much to the 1,600 viewers, up to almost 2,000 today. Appreciate you guys. Maybe it'll be like this. This is what potentially might happen. We feeling ape strong today, guys. Whew. Holy moly, here we go. It is 15 seconds off the open. Let's get the bell. Oop. There we go. Straight from the Nasdaq itself. The beautiful bell is opened, and here we go for the open. Well, it hasn't opened just yet, but there it is. All right, so Tesla does come in straight on that support. Let's see how the rally, if there is a rally. Amazon comes in on the 200, on the 20, so you can see that. And Apple comes in right around that middle point. US 500 daily 20 will be key. We'll move over to SPX now, which is the real code. So you get the exact daily 20. So exact daily 20 is 4280 on the real market compared to the other one. 4300 has been reached though. Now we know that historically, let's go over here on the left-hand side, we have generally been able to hit that one, though there were a few times that the futures hit it and the real market did not. So how bad is it all? Let's have a look. Tesla is down 3.34% now, 626. Square opens 3.19. Actually not that bad. NEO opens pretty damn hellishly, but it is on support. Pretty strong support as well. AAPL 1.61, not too bad. Amazon 1.19. Google 1.04. That rallied very quickly there. That was probably my favorite of those big ones. What else do we have? Let's have a look at Starbucks just quickly here. Okay. AMD 2.21. Beam down another 5.44%. Pretty brutal here on the biotechs, but a lot of those are coming into some pretty heavy supports. And we are seeing that initial dip buying. So Apple, most companies seem to be dip buying. Tesla 630. Overall market now only down 1.39%. And I say only on the US 100, 1.29 on the US 500. So dip buying early, I can't say that's unexpected. In fact, I expect retail traders to dial in hard. The question will really be the close. So I'll be making a video about this tomorrow to find out where this close occurs. And if it does dip buy, great signs, continued, hopefully bullish momentum will come through. The only time we're going to be concerned is if we create the lightning bolt to the downside on the S&P 500. It's not really about this first hour. I believe it's about the second and third hour and that close. Got a super chat coming in here from Cold Steel. What do you think of WKHS? We'll take a look at that very, very soon. AMC is trying to rally. Let's quickly scroll down here. AMC 6.92%, 41.95. That's sweet. Coming off that support as well. Even better. Very cool. Trying to rally out of the gates. There's the rally point. It happened in the futures. The $40, the previous support, that was exactly what we had as an aim for it for the short side, unfortunately. But you know what's happened now? Time will tell where it goes. Let's bring up the Webull screener and click the bad button. Let's find out what goes on here. So KT Southern does open bad. SE down to 257, as we mentioned before. We got Baidu getting absolutely destroyed. Wow, that's bad. 4.36%. Whoa, brutal. Square, 3.31%. CrowdStrike and others. Let's have a look at the positive side. Only Amgen in the big companies is up. Speculation. Percentage changes here. AMC down 10, so around that 40, 50. I wonder if it gets down to $40. Sundial down 5. I hate that stock. And yeah, it's mostly sea of red there. So initial rally, Apple the king or queen, if you want to call it that. Almost actually coming back. What else is going on here? Disney down, PACB, QCOM unfortunately down 2.76 today. That sucks. The short stocks are down. BBW, the Build-A-Bear is down. Oh, that's bad. I'll show you this one. That's a Wyckoff, guys. BBW. Check this one out. BBW does not look good. Nasty Bears will be in control of this one. So there's a few things that happen here. We've got a breach, false breakout. You've got, of course, multiple extraction. Then you've got weakness. If it closes underneath this zone, pretty bearish on the BBW. Build-A-Bear had a monstrous rally from 10 all the way up to around $20. And really the rally came in. Look at this, $2. I mean, you want to talk about a stock that makes no sense. This thing's been in a decline for years. And then what? Sugar rushes up here? No. BBW. No. Workhorse. I'll be finding you, Build-A-Bear. What do I think about Workhorse? Up 0.72 supposedly on the daily. Weekly looked terrible around that 18, which we talked about on the channel. I could see it rallying to like $14 and then having problems. Previous supports becoming resistance to moving averages here as well. So maybe we get a rally to the 1375, then find further selling pressure. I'm not really convinced by this move or any of these meme kind of moves. I would only look at AMC and GME, and AMC would be the one that I would be watching very closely there. I feel like it's like this. Burn says, lol, Build-A-Bear. Larsenik says, I'm a bit late into the stream. Any idea why everything is red? I think it's an excuse, man, just to make it red. There's no real clear catalyst. They'll come up with some crap. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be like, oh, jobs weren't filled in skilled labor or whatever it is. Effectively, both the ECB and the Fed have said they're going to support the markets with the same stuff they've been doing. They're not talking about tapering soon. In fact, the ECB basically said, this is the Europe side, they basically said they're going to let inflation go a little bit higher before they change the rate. So they're pretty cool about it. But yeah. VIX is dropping, so the volatility is coming a little bit out of the market now. You can see that initial spike is coming through, and we're now at 1.29%. So for people out there, the things that we're watching today is going to be the US 500 20 moving average. If it breaches below this, I'm not happy about it, I gotta say. But at this stage, it is okay, and hopefully the market continues to rally. A few people are very happy with Apple. It's not bad, putting on only 1.41% down. Square's actually also coming through pretty strong. And most of the market seems to be, coming back very hard. Wow. Did I read that correctly? Let's have a look at the beams. This is one of my biosciences that I like. What is this? Yeah, 4.33% turnaround. It's wild. The bioscience world, I'm telling you, it's scary out there. When you buy these stocks, you better have hyper on hyper on hyper on almost meme stock, because there's a lot of risk. Mr. Computer Guy says leverage. Yeah, leverage is a big thing as well. Look, we'll be paying attention to it. Just to reiterate that the keys for July for us are really going to be these two markets. I'm going to still be focusing in on QQQ, on SP500. Now, do I know if it's going to hit our top end trend lines? No, we don't know. It hit the bottom. So if you want to look at the trend line here that goes through these points, QQQ just hit that one. I've got one above that I'm looking at, and that's for, of course, the Nasdaq itself. So see here on the 4 hour, we'll switch that over to a daily. Usually a market will crash kind of like this one over here. It will create a topping effect, or it will create a lightning bolt effect. These are incredibly common crashes. In fact, tomorrow, depending on what happens to the market, we'll take a look at previous crashes through the markets and see if we can find some reoccurring kind of trends. If we can, then of course we will take advantage of those. It's not seasonal to smash itself during July. It's usually seasonal to really get hit up during that kind of late August period into September. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it happens earlier this year, but I think this is just the first day of a little bit of a flush, hopefully a pickup, and then we should tell more. If you guys enjoy the stream, please remember to subscribe. That brings us to an end. We'll go and have a quick look at the market. I'll have a quick look at it as well. And yeah, I'm happy at least a lot of this stuff is recovering. Another stock that I've been looking at pretty closely was CRM, which is a much more boring company, but this did breach out above. And I think that even with 1.39% down, this stock still looks relatively strong in the markets. Continue to look at Google, Amazon, Apple. They seem to be leading the way. And other than that, I hope everyone has a good day. And of course, your stocks turn around and you make as much money as possible. Always remember, risk, 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 risk. Make money, but do it with less risk, ideally. SW says 5 days down, 5 days up. No catalysts in either direction. I'm not sure what that's to do with. S. Burgos says, my portfolio is taking a massive hit this week, probably because you're in hyper stocks or a bit of the Chinese stocks. And that's the thing about trading manipulated markets. It's specifically hard because they take that manipulation away or they do something. It really hurts it through. Anyway, I wish you all the best and thank you very much, guys. See you tomorrow. Remember to subscribe. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the stream. If you didn't, fair enough. And yeah, send me in codes, guys, as well. If you find good stocks with great patterns, don't make me go hunting all the time. Find them for me. I'll tell you if it's good TA. Find them. If it's good TA, send them to me. Maybe even tag me in Discord, and then we'll share it with the community. That's the best thing we can do. Catch you for now. Bull Rocket says, Barber desperately trying to hold the 200. Yeah. Jeez. Bull Rocket, I wish you the best.